In a hidden base on Earth, deep below the ground, time had stood still. For 500,000 years, the last super soldiers lay frozen in cryo-sleep, their bodies preserved in glass tubes. They were the final hope of humanity, warriors designed to protect Earth from any threat. But now the world had changed beyond recognition. The Galactic Council had taken control, and the memory of humanity was almost lost. One day, a faint hum filled the air, waking the soldiers from their long slumber. The machines around them whirred to life, and the glass tubes slowly opened. The soldiers blinked in confusion, their eyes adjusting to the bright lights. Captain Jackson was the first to step out. He looked around, taking in the strange and unfamiliar surroundings. His heart raced with a mix of excitement and fear. "Where are we?" he asked, his voice rough from disuse. The others, still groggy, looked at him, their faces filled with questions. "I don't know," replied a soldier named Marcus. But something feels wrong. They soon learned that Earth was no longer the vibrant planet they remembered. The Galactic Council, a powerful group of alien leaders, had risen to power. They ruled with an iron fist, keeping humans in hiding and treating them like pests. Jackson felt a fire ignite within him. "We need to fight back," he declared, his voice strong. "We can't let them control us any longer." The soldiers gathered in a large room filled with old weapons and technology. The walls were lined with screens showing images of their enemies, the alien forces that had oppressed humanity for so long. As Jackson pointed at the images, he explained their mission. "We were made to protect Earth, and we will do it again. We need to train and prepare for battle. The Council will pay for what they have done." The soldiers nodded in agreement, their spirits rising. They remembered the battles they had fought before their sleep, the courage and strength they had shown. Jackson assigned each soldier a task. Some would focus on combat training, while others would learn about the new technology that could help them. As the days passed, the base became alive with activity. Laughter mixed with the sounds of weapons being tested and strategies being discussed. Zara, a fierce alien warrior, was the first to arrive at their base. She had heard rumors about the sleeping soldiers and sought them out. When she entered the training room, her presence commanded attention. With bright blue skin and long, flowing hair, she looked every bit the warrior. "I want to join your fight," she said, her voice steady. "The Council has hurt my people too. Together, we can defeat them." Jackson studied her, weighing her words. He sensed her strength and determination. "We need allies," he admitted. "But this battle will be dangerous. Are you ready for that?" Zara nodded, her eyes fierce. "I have trained my whole life for this. I will not back down." With Zara on their side, the team grew stronger. They shared stories of their pasts, of battles fought and lost. Each soldier felt the weight of their mission, but also the hope of reclaiming their future. They were no longer just frozen warriors. They were a united force ready to take on the Galactic Council. As they trained day after day, Jackson saw the change in his team. They moved with purpose, their skills sharpening. They learned to use advanced weapons and tactics, blending their old training with new strategies. Each soldier pushed themselves harder, fueled by the desire for revenge. Finally, the day came when Jackson felt they were ready. "We will take the fight to the Council," he announced. "It's time to show them that humans are not weak. We will rise again, stronger than ever." Cheers erupted in the room, echoing off the walls. Jackson smiled, feeling a sense of pride in his team. They were ready to face the challenges ahead, and their journey for revenge was just beginning. The galaxy had forgotten humanity, but soon it would remember. Together, they would rise and reclaim their place among the stars. With their training complete, Captain Jackson and his team were ready to take their fight against the Galactic Council to the next level. But they knew they could not do it alone. To defeat such a powerful enemy, they needed allies. The soldiers gathered in the main room, buzzing with excitement and nervous energy. "We must find others who want to join us," Jackson said, standing in front of his team. "Humans are not the only ones suffering under the Council's rule. Many alien races are also tired of their oppression. We need to reach out and make new friends." Marcus raised his hand, his face serious. "Where do we start?" "The galaxy is vast and we don't know who might help us." Zara stepped forward, her blue skin glinting in the light. "I have contacts in several systems. I can guide you to places where we might find support. But be careful. The Council has spies everywhere." Jackson nodded, grateful for her knowledge. "We'll follow your lead, Zara. Let's set out and find those who are ready to fight." The group prepared their ships and set off into the stars. As they traveled, Jackson felt a mix of hope and fear. Would they find allies, or would they face more enemies? The vastness of space felt both thrilling and daunting. Their first stop was a small, dusty planet called Tyros. It was known for its strong warriors and fierce independence. As they landed, they could see signs of struggle. Buildings were crumbling and the streets were empty. Jackson's heart sank. What happened here? He wondered aloud. Zara pointed to a group of aliens in the distance. They were tall, with green skin and sharp features, and they moved with a sense of urgency. Those are the Tyrosians. We need to talk to them. The team approached cautiously, unsure of how the Tyrosians would react to them. When they reached the group, a tall warrior stepped forward. His name was Callan, and he looked wary but curious. "Who are you?" Callan demanded, crossing his arms. "Why have you come to our world?" Jackson took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I am Captain Jackson, and these are my comrades. We are humans, and we have come to fight against the Galactic Council. We want to free our people and yours from their rule." Callan's expression softened slightly. "The Council has brought nothing but pain to my people, but we have been fighting alone for too long. Why should we trust you?" Jackson understood his doubt. "Because together we can be stronger. If we unite our forces, we can take down the Council and restore freedom to our worlds. We need allies, and we believe you are our best chance." After a tense silence, Callan looked at his fellow Tyrosians. They whispered among themselves, weighing the decision. Finally, Callan nodded. "Very well. We will join your cause. But know this, if you betray us, we will not hesitate to fight back." Jackson smiled, feeling a rush of relief. "We won't betray you. Together we will fight as one." With the Tyrosians on their side, Jackson and his team continued their journey, heading toward a planet known for its rich resources and technology, Thaler Prime. As they landed, they were greeted by the sight of bustling markets and advanced machinery. But the air was thick with tension. The people were afraid, and many looked over their shoulders, fearing the Council's spies. They met with a group of engineers and scientists who were secretly working against the Council. The leader, a brilliant woman named Lyra, had developed technology that could turn the tide in their favor. "If you can protect us, we can give you the tools you need to fight back," she said. Jackson felt hope bloom in his chest. "We will protect you. Together we can make a real difference." With new allies from Tyros and Thalor Prime, the coalition began to grow. Jackson's team traveled from planet to planet, spreading the word and gathering support. They faced challenges and dangers along the way, but with each new friend, their strength increased. As they returned to their base, Jackson realized that they were no longer just a group of soldiers. They were part of something much bigger. They were building a united front against the Galactic Council, and together they would fight for their freedom and the freedom of all oppressed beings in the galaxy. The time for action was coming. With friends by their side, Jackson felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. The Galactic Council would soon learn that humanity was not done fighting. The flames of rebellion had been lit, and there was no turning back now. The time for action had finally arrived. After weeks of training and gathering allies, Captain Jackson and his team were ready to launch their first attack against the Galactic Council. They had received vital intelligence from their new friends on Thalor Prime, revealing the location of a Council outpost on a nearby moon. This outpost was crucial for the Council's control over the region, and if they could take it down, it would send a strong message. As the team prepared for the battle, excitement and nerves filled the air. Jackson gathered his soldiers and allies, standing in front of them as they geared up. "This is it, everyone," he said, his voice steady and strong. "Today we show the Galactic Council that we are not afraid. We are united, and together we will fight for our freedom. Let's make this count!" The soldiers cheered, their spirits high. They boarded their ships and flew toward the moon, their hearts racing with anticipation. As they approached the outpost, Jackson's heart pounded in his chest. He could see the dark shapes of the Council's ships stationed around the facility. They had to be cautious. The Council would not go down easily. Zara, standing beside him, pointed to the radar screen. "They have heavy defenses. We'll need a distraction to get through. Marcus, take a small team and create a diversion," Jackson commanded. "Draw their fire away from the main entrance. The rest of us will slip in and take control." Marcus nodded, determination shining in his eyes. "We'll do our best." As they executed the plan, Marcus and his team sped off, firing their weapons at the Council ships. Bright explosions lit up the sky, drawing the attention of the guards. Jackson watched as the diversion took hold. "Now's our chance!" he shouted. They flew their ships toward the outpost, their weapons ready. As they landed, the soldiers rushed out, adrenaline pumping through their veins. They stormed the entrance, catching the guards off guard. The surprise attack gave them the upper hand. The sound of blaster fire filled the air as the team fought fiercely. Jackson led the charge, his combat training kicking in. He ducked behind cover, firing at the enemy while shouting orders to his team. Zara fought alongside him, her agility and speed making her a formidable force. "Push forward!" Jackson shouted, and the soldiers advanced, taking down guards one by one. The council soldiers were skilled, but they were not prepared for the determination of Jackson's team. As they moved deeper into the outpost, they faced heavy resistance. The council had deployed their elite troops, and the fighting became intense. Jackson felt the weight of leadership on his shoulders. Each soldier's life depended on their success. "Regroup!" he yelled, seeing some of his team getting overwhelmed. "We need to stick together." The soldiers fell back for a moment, regrouping behind a barricade. Breathing heavily, they exchanged quick glances, determination in their eyes. "We can't give up now," Jackson urged. "We've come too far. For Earth and for our allies." After their successful attack on the council outpost, Captain Jackson and his team were filled with excitement and determination. They knew they had only begun to scratch the surface of the Galactic Council's power, but the victory boosted their spirits. It was time to spread the message of rebellion across the galaxy. They were ready for the revenge tour. Back at their base, Jackson gathered his team and allies. "We must keep the momentum going," he said, his voice strong. "Every victory we achieve will inspire others to join our cause. We will hit key council targets across the galaxy and show them that we are back." Zara stepped forward, her blue skin shimmering in the light. "I have been in contact with our friends on other planets. Many are eager to rise up against the council. We can coordinate attacks to maximize our impact." Jackson nodded, feeling the energy in the room. "Let's make a plan. We will strike fear into the hearts of the council and gather more allies along the way." The first target on their list was a mining colony on the planet Kethar. The council used this colony to extract resources and exploit the workers. As they arrived, Jackson saw the pain in the faces of the miners. Many looked beaten down, their spirits crushed by years of oppression. "We have to help them," Jackson said, determination filling his voice. "They need to see that we are fighting for them." They launched their attack, quickly taking down the guards and freeing the miners. The miners were shocked at first, but soon realized they were being rescued. "We thought no one cared," one miner cried, tears of relief in his eyes. Jackson smiled. "We care. Join us, and together we can fight the council." As they freed more miners, word spread quickly. Soon, workers from nearby mines joined in, and the numbers swelled. The miners were strong and ready to fight back. Jackson's heart swelled with pride as he watched them pick up weapons and stand beside his team. After Kethar, they moved to the planet Eldoria, known for its lush forests and advanced technology. The Eldorians had long been oppressed by the council, and Jackson hoped they would join the fight. When they arrived, they were met by a group of Eldorian warriors led by a fierce woman named Lyra. "We are tired of living in fear," Lyra declared, her eyes blazing with determination. "If you can help us strike a blow against the council, we will stand with you." Jackson felt a surge of hope. "We will work together. Let's plan our attack on the council's main supply depot on this planet. We can strike hard and fast." The team and their new allies coordinated their efforts, planning a surprise attack under the cover of night. As darkness fell, they moved silently through the trees, each step filled with purpose. When they reached the depot, Jackson signaled to his team to prepare. "On my mark," he whispered. 3, 2, 1, go!" They charged into the depot, taking the guards by surprise. The battle was fierce, with blaster fire lighting up the night. Jackson fought alongside Lyra and her warriors, their skills blending together as they fought for their freedom. The council soldiers were strong, but they were no match for the united force of the humans and Eldorians. With each victory, Jackson felt the power of their alliance grow. They liberated the supply depot, taking vital resources that would aid their cause. As they celebrated their victory, Lyra looked at Jackson with admiration. "You have given us hope. We will continue to fight with you." With the support of the miners from Kethar and the warriors from Eldoria, Jackson and his team felt unstoppable. They continued their revenge tour, striking council outposts and freeing oppressed planets. Each battle they fought inspired more systems to join their cause. As they traveled from planet to planet, they began to hear whispers of a growing rebellion. News of their victories spread like wildfire, rallying more allies to their side. The Galactic Council, once feared, was now beginning to feel the pressure of a united front. Jackson realized they were not just fighting for revenge, they were igniting a spark of hope throughout the galaxy. Their fight was becoming more than just a mission for freedom. It was a movement. As they prepared for their next target, Jackson gathered his team once more. "We have shown the Council that we are back," he said passionately, "but we cannot stop. We will keep fighting until every corner of the galaxy knows that humanity stands united. Together we will take back our freedom." With renewed determination, they set off for their next destination. The revenge tour had just begun, and Jackson knew they were on the path to victory. The Galactic Council would learn to fear humanity once more. With renewed strength, they launched another assault, pushing through the guards and clearing the way. They fought their way to the control room, where the main computer could disrupt the outpost's communication systems. If they could shut it down, the Council would lose their advantage. As they reached the door, Jackson and Zara burst in. Inside, they found a group of Council officers frantically trying to send out a distress signal. "Stop right there!" Jackson yelled, pointing his weapon at them. The officers froze, fear in their eyes. "You're too late," one of them sneered. "Reinforcements are on the way." "Not if we shut down your systems first," Jackson replied, rushing to the main console. He began typing quickly, trying to override the security protocols. Zara covered him, her weapon aimed at the officers. The tension in the room was palpable. Jackson's fingers flew over the keys, and finally, he hit the final command. The screens flickered and alarms blared as the communication systems went dark. "Now!" he shouted, and they prepared to fight again. With their defenses down, the Council officers panicked. Jackson and Zara moved swiftly, taking them down one by one. With the outpost now secured, Jackson felt a surge of triumph. "We did it!" he exclaimed, looking at his team. They cheered, celebrating their first victory together. As they left the outpost, Jackson knew this battle was just the beginning. They had sent a powerful message to the Galactic Council. Humans were not weak. They were back, and they were ready to fight for their freedom. The road ahead would be challenging, but together they could face anything. The rebellion had begun, and Captain Jackson and his team were determined to see it through. The Galactic Council would learn to fear the name of humanity once again. The time had come for the final confrontation. After weeks of successful strikes against the Galactic Council, Captain Jackson and his team were ready for their most critical mission yet. They had gathered an impressive alliance of planets and warriors, but the Council was preparing a massive response. This would be their last stand. Jackson stood before his assembled troops, a mix of humans, Eldorians, and miners from Kethar. Each face was filled with determination and courage. "This is it," he began, his voice strong and steady. "We have fought hard to get here. The Council thinks they can crush us, but they are wrong. We will show them that we are united and powerful. We fight not just for ourselves, but for every oppressed being in the galaxy." Cheers erupted from the crowd, their spirits ignited. Jackson felt a surge of pride as he looked at his diverse team. They had come together as one, ready to face whatever the Council threw at them. Their target was the Council's main fortress on the planet Raxar, a heavily fortified stronghold that served as the nerve center of their operations. Intelligence reports indicated that the Council was sending reinforcements from across the galaxy to protect it. They would have to act fast and decisively. As they approached Raxar, the sky darkened with Council ships. Jackson's heart raced. "Prepare for battle!" he shouted, adrenaline coursing through his veins. They launched their ships, weaving through enemy fire as they closed in on the fortress. Once on the ground, the team quickly moved into position. Zara, always quick and agile, led a small group to disable the outer defenses. Jackson took the main force and charged toward the entrance, blasters at the ready. The first wave of Council guards was waiting for them, and the clash began. The sound of blaster fire echoed in the air as both sides fought fiercely. Jackson pushed forward, adrenaline fueling his every move. He ducked and rolled, firing at the guards while urging his team on. "Keep moving! We can't stop now!" Zara's team succeeded in shutting down the outer defenses, allowing reinforcements to join the fight. With their numbers growing, they gained the upper hand against the Council soldiers, pushing deeper into the fortress. As they fought their way through the hallways, Jackson felt the tide turning. His soldiers fought bravely, but he knew the Council would not go down without a fight. They had to reach the command center to disrupt the Council's communications. Finally, they arrived at the door leading to the command center. Jackson could feel the tension in the air as they prepared for the final push. "On my signal, we go in fast and hard," he instructed. "Ready!" his team replied, determination shining in their eyes. With a deep breath, Jackson shouted, "Now!" They burst through the door, weapons drawn, only to find a room filled with council officers, all looking shocked at their sudden entrance. "Stop them!" one officer shouted, quickly reaching for a blaster. Jackson and his team fired immediately, taking down the officers before they could react. But the room wasn't empty. Suddenly, a large council general appeared, heavily armed and ready for a fight. "So, you think you can defeat the council?" The general sneered, his voice dripping with disdain. "You are nothing but insects beneath our boot." Jackson stepped forward unafraid. "We are not insects. We are warriors fighting for our freedom. Today we end your tyranny." The general laughed, raising his blaster. "You will regret this." The battle erupted once more, and it was chaos. Jackson fought fiercely, dodging blaster bolts and taking down guards left and right. The general was strong, but Jackson could see he was getting tired. The tides were turning in their favor. Zara moved beside Jackson, her blaster firing expertly. "We need to disable his weapon," she shouted, pointing at the general's heavy armament. With a quick nod, Jackson shouted, "Cover me!" He charged forward, ducking under fire as he reached the general. They struggled, grappling for control of the blaster. Finally, with a swift move, Jackson managed to disarm the general, throwing him to the ground. "You are defeated," Jackson declared, breathing heavily. With the general down, the remaining officers looked to each other, fear in their eyes. Sensing their fear, Jackson raised his blaster. "Surrender now, and you will be treated fairly." "This fight is over!" One by one, the officers dropped their weapons, realizing they had no hope left. Jackson felt a wave of relief wash over him as he turned to his team. They had done it. They had taken the command center. With the Council's communications disrupted and their leadership in disarray, Jackson knew they had struck a significant blow. The galaxy would remember this day, not just as a day of battle, but as the day humanity and its allies took a stand for freedom. As they emerged from the fortress, the cheers of victory rang out across the battlefield. Jackson looked at his team, a sense of pride swelling in his heart. They had come together as one, and now they could shape the future of the galaxy. "Together, we have won this battle," he said, his voice loud and clear. "But the fight for freedom continues. Let us march forward and ensure that no one ever has to face the Council's tyranny again." With renewed strength, they set out to reclaim their galaxy, united in their purpose, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.